Hello everybody, my name is Hassan Mukari, and today's video is why being authentic is so attractive. When it comes to flirting, socializing, talking to any other person, relationship, long-term, short-term, anybody, guy, girl, why being authentic is the most attractive thing you can do, and why being inauthentic, not yourself, trying to be someone that you're kind of not, is needed to grow, but is one of the most unattractive things that a person can see. And I used to be a person who would not be able to speak to you like this. I would be a person who, when it came to socializing, group settings, one-on-one, going up to anybody and talking to them, I would be so scared of just expressing myself, making noises, talking to that other person, because I didn't see myself as a person who would do that. And I felt so scared and I felt so anxious and nervous before doing anything like that. I would never do it. And so if there was a girl that I found attractive, if there was anybody that I wanted to go and talk to, I would hold that back and not allow myself to come through because I was scared of judgment, of the outcome, of rejection, of what would happen, of fear of others, and I just didn't have the confidence in me, the self-belief, the conviction that I was good enough for the opportunity. And even when it comes to not even dating or flirting or talking to a person that you're attracted to, when it comes to asking your boss for a promotion, when it comes to asking someone for a favor, all those things resurface in myself too. And by you having the confidence in yourself to be like, hey, I'm asking for this thing because I want it, and that's authentically what I want, and I believe I'm a good person and right for the job, and if I get rejected, I'm okay with that, but I'm at least going to put myself out there. What that takes is a high amount of emotional vulnerability, and to do it confidently. So like, I would go up to a girl after building like 10 minutes of courage, and then I would go up and I would be so tense in my body, so stuck in my head that I wouldn't be able to relax, to connect with her, to do anything that was actually attractive. And so what would happen is my mindsets of I'm not good enough, I'm scared of what's going to happen, would come out in my body language. And I would be super tense, nervous, and that would come out in my face. It'd be more tense, my eyebrows would be raised, that would come out in my cheeks, it would come out on my shoulders, it would come out in all these very, very subtle things that when another person looks at you, they instantly determine, with like 0.4 seconds, instantly determine that who you are, how you view yourself, how other people view you, where you're going in life, what has happened to you in life. And they do it all in that second. And that is the pure physical. It's a little bit of the emotional too, but they look how you dress, they smell how you smell, they see how you take care of yourself. And if all that's fine, you're a good-looking person, guy, girl, take care of yourself, respect yourself, but you just have that mindset of, oh, I'm stuck in my head, I don't know what to say, this is not normal for me, this is something weird, this is something odd. All of those mindsets are going to come out in your body language, and that other person is going to see it. And who is that person going to believe more about you? Who is anybody going to believe more about what a person says about themselves? That person. If my mom says something about me, that's a pretty credible source. If some person who has no idea says something about me, that's not a credible source. But if I say something about me, that's a very credible source. And the sources of evidence are 93% communicated in the subcommunication. Meaning not even the words I say matter, but how I say the words, how I move, my delivery, my eye contact, all the subtle things that simply aren't the words. It's how slow I'm talking, how relaxed I am, how my voice is resonating and vibrating. All this is showing you, the viewer, and the person you're talking to, every person that you interact with, if you are relaxed in the conversation, meaning that you are confident, it's not like a super big deal. If it goes wrong, oh well, you're just here for the opportunity, for the chance. And if it goes right, you're the man for the job or the girl for the job. And all those things a person sees instantly. And so if they see a person who's very tense and not relaxed and super fidgety in their head, can't say the things that they want to say, can't express their interest. So like, I want to say you're cute, but I'm just talking about the weather or video games or TV shows for like 30 minutes because I can't literally say I find you attractive, because that's too much. That would be too much emotional vulnerability. And you'll get those feelings because you don't feel like you're good enough to say it, either because of lack of experience or because of an internal lack of confidence in yourself, a genuine belief that you don't think that you are good enough for the other person you're talking to. And it is also allowing the other person's emotions and reactions to completely wash over you. And so you should be acknowledgeable about the other person's reactions to you, but you should still be in your own frame. Meaning, if I go up to a person and I just say, "Hey, how are you? You have an amazing outfit on. You look real classy," and that person turns around and starts yelling at me and screaming at me, I'm not going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." I'm going to be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Because the two frames that are battling there are my frame of, it's a normal thing to come up and talk to you and compliment you, just in a perfectly normal way. And then the other person's frame is, that's weird, you're not supposed to do that. And both our frames come out, our mindsets come out in the body language. If I then start going, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and getting super reactive and getting super like twirled up in whatever they're causing, well, I've completely said to myself, the other person, and the world that I don't really believe in what I do. But if I did believe in what I did, I'd be like, "Why are you," and I had the confidence to stand up for myself, I'd be like, "Why are you getting so mad? It was a simple compliment, lady. You need some help." And I would walk away because I don't want to, spend my time with someone who's weird like that. And in that instance, my frame of, that was just a normal thing to do. You are getting way too reactive. You're getting way too upset for that, is how I believe the world is, and I don't change on that because I believe that to a core. And so it's having this balance of what you believe and being malleable in certain instances, on what that is, being able to change your mind here and there. But if there's firm things that you believe in those. And if there are things about yourself, you should heavily believe in those positive qualities. If you believe you're a good person, you should take your word for that. However, people grow up in households, in childhoods, where they experience a lot of negative things that affect their mindsets. Negative things like, "You're not good enough," like comparisons, like shame and guilt for doing things wrong. And now they develop things like, "I'm not good enough. This person's better than me because of this, because of that, because of that." It could be things about the physical about you. So if we're always called out about your race. "I'm brown, I'm black, I'm Asian, I can't do that. I'm Spanish, I'm this, I'm that, I can't." If you were called out about your height, if you're called about some disfigurement or something like that, it's like something that you can't change, and it's there for you. It's like, bro, look at my ears. I got pretty big ears. Look at my nose. I got a big nose. I got, little rabbit teeth. And are these things that I have been called out in my childhood and made fun of that have made me a bit insecure? Yes. And growing up with those, it was very hard to make them anything positive because I really couldn't. But at some point in my life, I understood that, hey, I can't change these things. And if anything, they make me unique. And so, yeah, I have big ears, but, I can't change my big ears. So I'm just going to have fun with them. I can't change my nose, so I'm going to have fun with it. I can't change my teeth, I'm going to have fun with it. And when I'm talking to a person, they either can like it or they don't. But I can't change that, so it's not on me. It's on you if you're, going to be a decent human and be receptive to that. I'm still going to give you the same positive energy anyways, though. And I'm not going to let that bring me down or the mood I bring with others. And if I were to go up to a girl And that change happened, it took like 2 years to happen, right? For me to, it was that, and it was things on the inside. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't know what to say in a lot of the instances, how to start conversations, how to banter and have fun in the conversations. And a lot of it was letting go, being free of the outcome, saying the things I wanted to say, and having a somewhat understanding of, here are a couple questions I can always ask, I can always, fall back onto. So when the conversation does die out or go dull, I'm not twirling in my head, getting stuck back in my head. Oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Because of the experiences I had in my childhood, which kind of engraved that into my body and into my nervous system. So I grew up in a childhood in which I had a lot of insecurities about myself, and it took a while for me to get over those in what I call a socialization process, for me to be okay with that. And so I grew up in a family in which it was only me and my mom who were brown, and everybody else was white. My mother married into a white family here in Canada, and ever since I was a kid, I've been surrounded by white people, and I only really had my mom, and the rest of our family was back in, sorry, my phone is just 10%, back in Pakistan or in England. So I didn't really interact with them at all or form any type of connection. Also, I never was connected to my culture that deeply. I didn't know the language. I didn't really understand the culture, like Muslim culture or anything about that, Hindu culture, nothing about it. The language, very little, connection to what that is. And so I was very, white in how I interacted with people. The things I knew about, I didn't know Bollywood stuff. I didn't know any of that. So I was just like American movies. And I was completely okay with that. It didn't bother me at all. But it was a lack of connection and experiences I got to go through that really stunted me in certain areas of my life. And so me being called out for my skin color a lot of the time when visiting other parts of my other white family was very odd. And going through a lot of experiences where it's like I always knew I stood out. I always knew I was a bit different. And even with my mom, she was the one person I could relate to, and she herself was very distant at times. Her going through her own childhood and her upbringing and what she had to do and what she was doing at the time, life was very hard on her. And so she got very emotional at times, and she would yell and she would say things to me and my brother. And those things were, when you were a kid and they're so loud and they're coming from your parent and they're coming from, a place of you not understanding and you don't get that closure after, it affects you socially. And you go into other interactions in other social talks, and you're already coming in with this baseline of I'm not good enough. I'm already coming in this baseline of there's things wrong with me. And there's things from all these parts of your upbringing combined, and they all form into one, which is your soul. And those experiences form how you think, which are your mindsets, and those mindsets dictate basically how you act at a biological level. If I take someone who's gone through extensive bullying, not the best socialization process, didn't have a support network of people that they could be emotionally vulnerable to, went through things like a stressful childhood where there was yelling and there was shaming and there was guilt and there was maybe even divorces that happened, and it was just not the best, and you thought wrongly about yourself. And I talk to that person one way, and I show certain reactions to that type of person. They may not react the best. They may feel way, 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 way worse about themselves, get way more emotional, get way more stuck in their head than a person who went through a childhood and upbringing where people were nice to him, nice to her, constantly supporting him or her, had people that they could talk to, had a good family, didn't go through divorces, didn't go through maybe certain things where they thought very bad about themselves. And all of that is, on a scale. It's not you either have it or you don't have it. It's you have it and you don't have it, and everything in between, infinitely and three-dimensionally. It's way more complicated than yes I do, no I don't. And when you get over the fact that, and it's not getting over, like it took me 2 years of going out, being emotionally vulnerable, meaning when things did come up that would kind of trigger me, that would get that nervous system going, that would put my nervous system in a flight or fight state, because that is what happens when you are going through trauma or dissociating. Your body is like literally tensing up, readying to get ready for war, to run away, to fight this person because it's in a life or death situation. And that happens so often in your upbringing. It gets ingrained in your nervous system. And so when certain things happen, my body naturally has a certain reaction. And live example of these may be when your parent comes home. Does your anxiety get higher? Do you start cleaning your room? Do you remember that when you were younger? When something breaks or something happens, like, is there a deep sense of anxiety in you of like life or death? Like small things turn into really big things in your eyes. Well, you take that now, and now there's a person you want to go and talk to. Say you find him or her cute, and you want to go and start a conversation with that person because you find that person attractive. Now you're going to make that thing such a more big deal, because the action of going up and talking to someone, let's take it back to the primal days when we were just monkeys living in tribes of a couple hundred people, and we all knew each other, and a lot of what you did mattered. The person who was, you could go up to someone, and if you express your interest to that person, and that person didn't take it well, or that person was maybe already with someone else, or someone else saw it and didn't like it, you could genuinely end up being killed. You could end up being hit by that person, being hurt by that person, by another person, or even casted out of the tribe. Maybe if you got rejected, your kind of social ranking would look down. Because that's a huge thing. People are scared of being rejected and what people would think about them. But what they don't understand is it's a completely normal thing to do. And people who would look down on that are weird. And they're technically in a way hating on a person for finding someone attractive, having the balls to go up to them kindly and talk to them and see if they're cool too. And if you hate on a person like that, like, you're just a hater to the core. Because it takes a lot of courage and confidence in yourself and balls, and whatever you girls have, not balls, but to go up and talk to that person that you like. And if you hate on a person like that, like, that is just, you are not meant for this channel. You are not meant for success in your life. And when you go up to a person like that, and your primal brain is literally telling to yourself, okay, this is a life or death situation. And now you have that upbringing, those mindsets that exaggerate every situation. Now you're taking this thing that your brain is saying is life or death. In today's era, it's not. In today's society, like, that person can't hit you. That person can't kill you. Other people can't kill you. And you'll be okay. If people do reject you and they look lower on you and they stop helping you out and they stop interacting with you and they start ignoring you, like, it's a big city, like, you'll never see those people again. Like, it's a big, like, you'll never see the same person twice in real life. Unless it's at your work, unless it's at a place that you frequent often. But even then, like, you're not going to die. You can move over to the next city, to the next town, right? And so when it really, really, really does come to it, like, it's not life or death. It's not how it was hundreds of thousands of years ago. But your brain is still like that. Your brain is still developed to that point. Very, very deeply down in there, you got that primal monkey brain. And so you have those two things working on each other, and now you go up to talk to someone you find attractive. Dude, the things in your mind and your head, and you're just not going to be able to be relaxed and loose and yourself. And so the fact that being authentic is the most attractive thing, but there's such a blockage between how you want to express yourself to where you are, that is the biggest hurdle for people to come over. And the only way you can get over that is by going out, putting yourself in those situations, and figuring it out on the moment, on the fly. And you can have a simple thing to start a conversation. You can ask for a person's opinion. You can make a simple compliment. And if you have such an anxiety of even doing that, well, that is like, there's nothing else I can help you on, right? You have to go out and do the action yourself. I gave you 2 examples. Do that for 100 times. And I guarantee you, by the 100th time, you will feel less nervous than the first. And you keep doing that over and over again, your brain will start to rewire itself and say, hey, I can talk to a person that I don't know, and I don't die. And it's actually fun sometimes. And they actually find me fun too. And I think I'm a cool guy because they're laughing and they're having fun with me. And I'm having fun with them. And I get to meet new people. People are awesome. And your mind starts rewiring from this, I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, to, hey, I'm good enough. Hey, people do like me. From, it's scary to start conversations. I'm not that type of person who starts conversations. I'm not the type of person who says what he wants to say. And your brain starts rewiring. Hey, when I think something I want to say, I say it. And it usually goes well. Okay, I'll say it now. When I want to do something and I do it, it usually goes well. I'll do it now. And your brain, because it has so much reference experience, becomes more and more comfortable with doing those things. And then it feels normal. And then you can express yourself. You can be authentic easily. And you're okay with that. And you're okay if you get rejected with it too, because that happens. It's gonna be whatever. You're okay with that negative energy because that's on that person. It's not on you. You're not the one who caused it. And again, that has more with that anxious attachment style where you may feel responsible for other people's emotions. But early on, just meeting someone, you're not. When it comes more into that deeper relationship, then having it transforms into being emotionally vulnerable. It transforms into really communicating to your partner, to whoever you're talking to, him or her, that deeply what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, the insecurities that you're feeling at the moment, where they're coming from. And if your partner at that point can't be receptive to that, they can't take that and, again, you should be socially competent about it, not spewing it all over them in such a radical manner, but trying your best to get it out, trying your best to explain to them where these things may be coming from, trying your best to explain to that other person how you're feeling, why you're feeling, and how you can get over it and how they could help. That is what it's going to take to be way more open in that long-term relationship. And it takes a lot of understanding, a lot of back and forth, a lot of compassion and empathy. And you can kind of vet for that in a person you just met early on, because if you can't be yourself around a person, early on, and they give you one-word texts back, and that other person is like, and the person you're trying to talk to, you tell that person, hey, I'm not trying to waste your time or my time. You're not killing the courting process, but it's like if that person's giving you super weird energy after things were going right, after things were going good, and now they're giving you weird energy, it's like you don't want to pretend to be someone else. You don't want to have to do something to get that person back to liking you. It's like, what the hell, man? We're supposed to be on this together, and if that's something you're looking for in a long-term partner, then they're kind of showing you early on that maybe they're not about that. And of course, people can change and they can get better, but that is on you to decide if they can, and for you to make that fair judgment to see if they are actually capable of that, which, does take getting into that relationship to begin with. So this has been today's video. To sum it up, being authentic is rewiring your brain into believing and to seeing the evidence that is actually okay to be authentic. And people love when you're authentic. And when you're in deeper relationships, that emotionally vulnerability part is one of the most key aspects of keeping it healthy, of keeping it open, and not building those resentments, because they stack over time, and they stack quickly, and they stack in seconds, and then they stack in years, and they blow up. And I know that from personal experience. So with that, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed the video. I love you so much. If you do need more help with your flirting, your confidence, your ability to be fun in conversations, lower your anxiety, manage it, to be able to communicate and express yourself without this mindset blockage, you can book a call for my one-on-one coaching below, or a strategy session for 1 hour. And with that, boys and girls, I love you so much. Goodbye. Love you.